Okay, good morning. We're back to our subject of Shalom Bayit with Shalom Arush's book. Okay, so yesterday we were continuing our discussion with criticisms, and today we're still going to continue. It says one who criticizes is an arrogant person. Why? The truth is, we're on page 55, that husbands who criticize aren't gentle and well-meaning in doing so. Many have a drive to constantly remark, comment, criticize, complain, and find faults in those who are close to them. This drive stems from arrogance, cruelty, and an utter lack of self-control. I don't know if we said it this morning or we said it yesterday. We said it yesterday, right? That a man wants to feel that he's the head, and therefore he's going to put everybody down. Why? Because that's the only way I can be head. If I put everybody down, then in my head I'm the most uppest one. So he's saying the same thing. He says generally a man is not a gentle person. He wants to criticize and complain on everybody. This way what? This way he's he's on top. He says a husband must therefore ask himself where his comments and criticism are coming from. If he's honest with himself, he'll discover that his compulsive drive to make comments and criticize at all times is a sign of his arrogance. It's a sign of his character flaws and cruelty that he needs to work on. We could see it in many instances where if we talk to a person, say, no, I never do that. So first of all, whenever he says never, he already is lying. Because none of us never do anything. We always do it. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do, but it's never. It's always sometimes yes. So by the questions of never, ever, that you already know he's lying. Here? So therefore he says, go inside yourself, see, why are you doing this? Why are you commenting? What's the point behind it? He says, if you're really going to be true with yourself, you're going to understand that it's coming from a completely different area. Here? One of the things that I try to teach my family, I tell them, listen, if anything, you got to be honest to yourself. At least to yourself. This way you know who you are. Why are you lying to yourself? Because this lie eventually is going to...
It's the worst lie.
Yeah, it's the worst lie, and it's going to blow up in your face one day. You hear? So he says arrogance, it's come from arrogance. It says many people have a tendency to tear themselves down. Women especially. Women often feel that they're not doing enough and they're not good enough or that they're not satisfying their husbands. A criticizing husband adds fuel to the fire of self-persecution and low self-image. Such a husband justifies and reinforces a wife's negative feelings about herself. In extreme cases, his remarks and criticisms put her right on the psychiatrist's sofa, chas v'sholom. Here, he says a woman wants to be perfect. So therefore, our little remarks, she wants to be good for her husband. See, that's what we don't understand. We just have been in such messed up relationships that we automatically look at her as an ex-person, and therefore she's ex back to us. But really, she wants to be good, and therefore, with all the comments that we've said to her throughout the years, she just feels completely low. They usually are very low self-esteem about themselves. Exactly. So he says, you'll put her on a psychiatrist's chair. He's not disagreeing that a woman can go crazy. He's not. There is such a thing as you can make a woman crazy. Why? Because of your comments. Today there was example. He says, listen, I saw my wife cleaning the toys and all that from the kids. I said, what? It's criticism if I tell her, why are you doing it? Let the kids do it. He says, that's not criticism. He said, it is criticism. You know why? You know what you're telling her? You didn't teach your kids properly. By you telling, he wants to do good to her. He wants to tell her, Johnny Ma, why are you taking it? Tell the kids to do it. In a roundabout way, he's telling her, you didn't teach your kids properly. They're playing over, they were playing with it. You didn't teach them to. So a woman takes sometimes a part of criticism that we think that's not a criticism. In her eyes, it's a criticism. Why? Because she's not going to tell him, but look at them. He's telling me a roundabout way that I didn't raise the kids correctly. Exactly. You see what he says? But it's true. You're right. It is true. But we're not supposed to put that. Yeah. By the way. No. When he wants to tell her, don't clean. Let the kids clean.
So, but it is because
No. But in his case, he really wanted to do that. He really wanted to show her, don't clean, let the kids clean. But in her eyes, she's looking at it as what? He's telling me I didn't raise my kids properly.
Why did you put the second phone?
Oh yeah, he's coming. Yeah, you hear? So therefore we have to sort of, really understand what we're telling the wife, and know whenever we know we don't need to get involved, don't get involved in speech, which is usually most of the time. Meaning, don't get involved and give her extra comments, do this, do that. He says that when you're trying to make better for her, it's also no good, right? We said that she's spending an hour doing laundry. You tell, listen, it's very simple. You do like this, and boop, you're done. She doesn't want to. You just told her you don't know what you're doing. Let me teach you how to, do the laundry the proper way. She does not want to hear that. So if she's struggling, let her struggle. Be supportive, but let her struggle. If she's asking you, sweetie, I don't know, how do I do this? Okay, then you come in and you tell her. But if she's not asking you, better you.
Rabbi said that Rabbi would later say, I see how struggling you are, I care for you. Is it really needed to say like even like that?
You hear?
Yeah, I know it's a kosher way to say, but does she really need to hear that? If I am already feeding her with the right things that she needs, do I need to prove to her that I am supporting her, I'm thinking about her? She already knows that. But it is still my comment, it turns out to be.
So he wasn't saying that you should say that. I'm sorry, Rabbi, I'm going to answer for you. He said, if you're going to say it, don't say it there.
This way.
Don't say it there.
Because over there he says, you could say it, but I don't recommend.
Right. But he wanted to tell him in the morning, listen, if you already want to make a remark like that, don't tell her that moment. Wait until a day or two later, and then tell me, my heart hurts, that this, that. Meaning, but different way. But at the end of the day, he says, before you do that, you got to pray. We're going to come to that section.
Yes.
Here, he says, a pedantic husband. Who can define for me what a pedantic?
Is each
Very. Got it. Can't have marital peace. Our sages teach in Mishnah Tractate Avot. He says that a pedant can't teach. Therefore, a husband won't be able to effect a change in his wife by way of comments and criticisms. Oh no, pedantic means
someone who's excessively concerned with minor details and rules, or with displaying academic.
Really interesting. What about he says a pedant can teach. So somebody who's very particular.
Yeah, I cannot teach everything with nothing.
Gotcha. Yes. Therefore, he says, I won't. Huh? Calm down. Particular, right. Therefore, a husband won't be able to effect a change in his wife by way of comments and criticism. He says, a person that reprimands his wife will almost surely fall into the trap of several outright Torah transgressions, such as anger, humiliating one's fellow man, causing anguish to one's fellow man. Yeah? Meaning, we think that just because she's hurt, that's her problem. No, chas v'shalom, you're going against the Torah. You just hurt a person. And then after that hurt, she's going to go cry. That's a major no-no. Here, we unfortunately, we don't. Why are you crying? Yeah, but your words are so sharp that you cause the person to be in anguish. And that's not a good thing. It says, ironically, a husband that chastises his wife for doing a minor misdeed ends up committing major transgressions, upsetting the peace at home and chasing away the divine presence from his midst. What's worse, her minor misdeeds or his major transgressions? The remarks are dangerous. So he says sometimes you're gonna, but I'm gonna, and most arguments, they go from little letter. You're like, why is like what do you care? Ooh, why is she saying that way? Because you already, you so many times you're saying, why? And you say, why are you talking to me like this? Because and then it escalates into a complete argument from what? Why is this napkin over here? You hear what I'm saying? I mean, who cares? The napkin is on the floor. How okay? The napkin's been there for 5 days. Who cares? Pick it up, put it in the garbage. If it bothers you so much. You hear what I'm saying? Little things, he says, from a little thing you're going to go into a big Torah transgression. By the way, you weren't here in the morning. We'll just put on the thing. We had on Ketubot, page 66. Over there, it talks about if a woman gets, hit by somebody and she has a little deformality, she has to get paid for embarrassment, for healing, for so on and so forth. So two of those things, embarrassment or whatever, goes to the husband. Meaning the payment goes to the husband. Sometimes 1/3 to the husband, 2/3 to her. Sometimes 2/3 to him, 1/3 to the husband. The Gemara is like, how would it? We don't understand. How could it be that somebody else could be hurt and you're gonna get the money for it? I don't get it. Like the husband is gonna get paid. What? So they brought different cases, one who spits, one who this, one who embarrasses. There's 10 rich children and one of them is poor and you embarrass the poor child. Do all the 10 get? B'kitzur, it came out that what? There's no such thing that you can embarrass somebody and you get paid. No such thing. Comes over there, I forgot what the Rav's name is. He says, no. With women it's different. But with the wife it's different, sorry. Because the wife and the husband are one person, are one body. Legally. He says, legally they're one body, and therefore when you hurt her, you ended up hurting him. You understand?
Wow, I like that it's legally, not like
no, legally.
Or
so imagine.
Legally.
So imagine in our case right now, we are confronted with a person who is. See, we were reading over here, mirror, 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 and we were like, nah, he's being too, too spiritual with this mirror. No, he says legally you're one person. You're one person. So how can you be degrading the person who's you? You imagine that? You're degrading the person you're actually degrading yourself. All the more so, this makes sense of how when he says, when you're badgering her, it's because of you. Why? Because you're one person. And she's showing you who you are. And therefore, don't comment and kill her. No. Fix yourself and you see she automatically fixed. This is why this automatic thing works. Because if we're one, then whatever I'm doing, she's going to automatically do. Why? Because we're one. You hear what I'm saying? Beautiful. Okay, good. So he says, remarks are a boomerang. The old adage says that people who live in glass houses, they don't throw stones. A husband should know that the minute he criticizes his wife, he's exposing himself to criticism. There's another thing. Yeah? What do we say? No, she always has a mouth like this. Okay, but why? That we've already mentioned it a dozen times. It will never happen that I'm talking to an individual nicely, yes sir, politely and everything, and this person is going to start cursing me. It's not unless he's normal. We're talking normal situation. Yeah, so if your wife is telling you nasty things, guess what, my friend? I think you started telling her nasty things in the beginning, and that's why she's reverberating what she's been hearing from you. Yeah? So that's what he says. It's a boomerang effect. You're going to start criticizing, she's going to come start criticizing to you. And guess what? Some men have women emotions, and they're going to get very upset, and they're going to start acting like she's acting.
And this upset of a man prevents him to give her oxygen. Give her
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And then it lingers on for a certain period of time, and it becomes worse and worse, and then it's not forgotten because we don't follow the Torah directives of let it go from your heart. No, we're going to store it in our heart. Our heart is a big, what do you call it? Huh? Storage, exactly. I was going to say, the computer has that thing. What do you call that? The hard disk. I remember this, I remember that, I remember this, I remember that, and it never goes away, right? And then more things come, and then this comes out. Oh, you remember this, you remember that, and that whole snowball effect into a constant, battle for years. He says everything we said until now applies to a situation when a husband comments or criticizes after the fact, but if he sees that his wife might make a mistake or commit a misdeed, he can guide her gently before she does something wrong. Huh?
Before she did it.
Yeah. There is a world of difference between guidance and criticism. So he's saying, yeah, what happens is after the fact, okay, this is already on the floor, and this is this, and this is that, and that. After the fact, it's done already. Where are you going? Just before. There is a gentle way to explain to her that, you might, how will she change? One of the arguments that the Yetzer Hara, the inclination, uses to incite a husband to comment and criticize is that what? The criticism is for her ultimate spiritual and material benefit. The Yetzer Hara says,
His
no,
or
hers.
her.
Why? Because you're thinking, but she's making a mistake. Let me constructive criticize her. That way she'll change. He says the Yetzer Hara tells you that. Well, how is she going to change? You got to tell her. She'll never know. He says the Yetzer Hara hides in his thoughts and says, nobody's perfect. People want to improve. They want to make progress in life. How's my wife going to get ahead if I don't help her? She should be grateful for my comments and criticisms. If I really love her, how can I ignore the damage she's doing to herself with her mistakes? How will she ever change if I don't help her? Right? These are all things that are in our heads, correct? Huh? It's exact. So that's what he's saying. The Yetzer Hara said, "Shh, hey, listen, you can't. You gotta comment on this. You gotta comment on that. You want a nice pressed shirt? You gotta tell her, listen, this is all crumpled up. Let me teach you how to iron. Yeah?
But it's
Yeah.
not normal psychology the way we show.
Oh.
Why it's not correct?
Wait. Where is this normal? Where is this normal? Where, you know, it's interesting what you're saying. There's millions of people who are now intermarrying. Normal psychology. You know what they're saying? Normal psychology. They said we had it all wrong. Man and man could marry now. Woman could marry now. That's normal psychology. Why? They also have feelings.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's not normal.
That's not what I'm talking about.
You're
When
saying
you
to
think
teach
that
her.
every man you ask, that's how he thinks.
Very good.
So why it's wrong? Why
Oh.
people think like that?
So let's see.
You have
Let's
to
see.
go against all of the men
Yeah.
and
So-
become the real man.
So let me tell you something.
No.
Yeah.
But again, you don't read this book, it's his opinion.
Yes.
We assume it's correct opinion
Good.
because it works.
Good.
But how do we know that's the truth? This is the
Because it's interesting. If we right now take a case study of 100 married couples, and let's say that the gava doesn't bother the individual, right? Meaning he'll work on his gava. You'll see that it's 1-to-1. Everybody's saying the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. She's like this, she's like that. But why? Because you made her this way. By you thinking you're gonna teach her, guess what? It never works. Good example. You have a son. You don't wear kippah. You don't wear tefillin. You don't go to shul. Hey, put on the kippah. Hey, go shul. Put tefillin. You know, did he ever do it? Never. He's gonna do it. Why? Because my father's here. Okay, out. And he'll never practice Judaism. Meanwhile, boom, you don't say anything to the son. You put the biggest kippah on. Every morning you take your tefillin bag, you go to shul, you stay there. He sees you, he's like, I want to be like my father. It's the same concept. You telling her, change, you do this, you do that. And you yourself, again, he's saying she's a mirror. You yourself are,
psychology every man has in
I
his
hear
head.
you. So just because this psychology is there in every man, it means it's the right psychology?
I don't know why it's there then.
It's the Yetzer Hara. Listen. Every man or many normal men desiring other women. Yeah? Is that normal? Why should I desire another woman? Why should I desire your wife? I don't understand. But I'm married. Why am I desiring your wife? That's not normal. You should be telling me, Avram, what's wrong with you?
No, it's normal.
Oh, it's normal.
You are
Where-
supposed to
where-
hold yourself.
Oh, you're saying you're supposed to hold yourself.
I have to go now
Okay.
because I have to help my everything.
Oh, okay, yeah. Very good. Very good, Rabbi. Very
See how
good.
much it takes?
Very good. You hear? I hear what you're saying. You want to say that's normal. You explain to the individual and good. Yeah, you know what? It will work. But in the way we do it is a little bit not the proper way. Because behind our mind, we want to show her, listen, you do it like this, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah? It's not with a genuine I care for you. If it is with a genuine care for you, believe me, she will take the respect. It's a different, even when we help with the washing the dishes, even when we help with certain things, you know why we're doing it? To show her, listen, without you, I can cook, I can clean, I can live, and I don't need you. The only thing I can do, the only thing I cannot do without you is be in bed with you. But you know what? Plenty of other women there. So shut your mouth.
Why?
You understand? That's the behind the scene. That's what it is. So, but he's saying, since we are like that, and many of us are like that, shut your mouth. Don't. You're not going to be able to, because you. Yesterday we spoke about criticism. He said nobody's on the level to be able to constructively criticize this individual for him to be God. Nobody. But if you are on the level, yes, absolutely, you need to. You need to. But he says we're not on that level. Rabbi Akiva said it 2,000 years ago. Yeah. The Zohar said 500 years ago. No.
He said that those people said in generation cannot. He says, but the wife, how much more so cannot take it?
Correct. But honestly, if you build up a relationship, there's no need to do. You'll both understand that your comments are pure. Meaning, if you
Comments are what?
pure.
Pure.
They're not. No. One second. Because over here, he's talking about trouble. Anybody who's opening this book, he's in trouble. You understand? Before you're getting married, he wants you to open as well, so you know not to get in trouble.
So it's not about you get to a point where you can make comments. You get to a point where you can commune.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. It's a communication thing. It's no longer comments. It's no longer why is this like that? Why is this like no? It's a communication. My love, that, and whatever you have to communicate to her, you know. But it's not the case with us.
But it's not fair.
We're not able, huh?
It's not fair.
What do you mean?
Because before and after, you're not allowed to criticize over there. But once you build the relationship, now you get the permission.
No permission to criticize. No permission. It's discussion. I'll be honest with you, there was no such thing as discussion by me 6 months ago. No such thing as discussion. We used to go to this, that, they used to, no, you gotta talk. Every conversation after 5 minutes, war. Not just, war. You know what I used to think? These people don't know what they're talking about. Right? You had war too? Yeah. The guys, they don't know what they're talking about. Little did they understand, you cannot have communication if you already broke the whole marriage by doing all these negative comments, and they have, these psychologists don't understand this psychology yet. They went to school, they spent a lot of money, their PhD, they whatever it is, but they don't understand this psychology that what?
Yeah. They don't know.
This is Torah. You hear? Yeah, this is Torah.
They don't know.
So
Religious ones.
listen.
Religious ones, they call them the rabbis.
Yeah, because they were not taught this. That listen, by the way, they all speak in almost this language, but not as open and as focused on this. No, focused. They'll have one paragraph, one chapter, but to focus on this, to tell you, listen, you do this happens. You do that happens. That's the nature of the event. You hear?
Did you go to the religious ones?
Yes.
The religious ones?
Wrote books and everything. Still don't know. Listen to what it says. Before we dismantle the Yitzhara's mental landmines, let's see what happens inside a woman's heart when her husband criticizes her. He says, wait. Before we dismantle this, no, you got to teach her. No, you got to do this. He says, the moment a husband makes a remark about something his wife does, no matter how gentle or justified, even more so if the remarks are unfair or brutal, her heart withers and her soul darkens. Which book says this? I never saw any book that says that. I mean, I already read 2 books that are, that said, they told me, these books are very good. Mamash, they wouldn't help me at all. Why? He says, the minute you say a comment, she becomes darkened and withers. Wither means, you saw a flower, on Friday, you buy nice roses, they look beautiful. By next Friday, they're completely dead. Sometimes they stay. I bought one time 2 weeks there. But after 2 weeks, they're withered. Nothing there. You hear? So he says, she sees herself as nothing. Imagine, he's telling you the psychology of every woman.
Even a slight.
Yeah, she sees herself nothing, worthless and unsuccessful. She loses all her willpower, and the willpower to improve. All she has left is her need to survive. You hear what he's saying? This makes sense because we that have experience, we saw this It was survival tactics. That's it. It was survival. Even when we had the good times, it was just because I know that if I'm not going to give this to him, he's going to go, and I don't want that because I really have an affection to him. I want to hold on to him, but I can't. You know, it's a crazy thing. Yeah, he says, therefore, like a threatened and wounded she-wolf, look how he puts it. Like a threatened and wounded she-wolf, a wolf got bitten. He doesn't know what to do. He's got enemies coming. She tries to salvage what's left of her dignity by holding her ground and justifying herself. Now what she does, she tries to prove to you. So now she knows she's wrong. She knows she does this wrong. She knows that, and she's telling you, no, it's not like that. And you're thinking, yo, she's not normal. You just messed that up.
It's black. Why is she saying white?
Exactly. You just messed it up. What are you talking about? Yo, she's a liar. Rabbi, she's what's that double personality? How do you call it? She's bipolar. Rabbi, she's bipolar. Because look at it. Rabbi, you look at it. He's like, yeah, it's black. But she's saying it's white. Why? Survival. She cannot. She says, if I agree to this, I'll die. She'll die. You hear? He says, even if it goes against logic. He tells you clearly. Against logic. That's why we were like, I can't understand her, yo. It's illogical. What is she talking about? It's illogical. And then you're thinking, yo, my wife, she's something wrong with her. It doesn't make sense. At such times, she exposes her fangs, meaning she takes the teeth out and she wants to fight. Why? She doesn't want to die. She does not want to die. You hear? So he says, for a woman to admit a mistake or shortcomings is worse than death. Kill me, but I'm not going to admit. And how many times you're like, listen, can you at least just say you're sorry?
No. If she will say sorry, then I'll tell her sorry.
Yeah, but not only that. Now you have nothing to say sorry for because let's say it was her mistake. She understands it was her mistake. But you're like, no, how come you don't even say sorry for me? He says, listen, stab me in the heart, but don't tell me to say sorry. He says, she'll therefore do anything to protect her dignity, which is like oxygen, is the source of her vitality. Taking away her dignity is subsequently tantamount to threatening her life. You hear? A woman wants to have dignity. Not to show off, no, in her husband's eyes. I want to be dignified in my husband's eyes. I want to look like a queen in his eyes. I want to do everything for him. Be'emet, that's what it is.
Yes.
If you, that's what many men are lacking to understand. If you give her what she needs, yeah, she'll do anything for you. Why? She wants to. That's how she was built. You hear? But if we take that away from her, she's now trying to hold on to this dignity which she no longer has, and she still wants to make it good, and therefore she'll use any tactic. The husband thinks that his wife is the only woman in the world that's so sensitive to criticism. We all thought that, no? I thought that,
Where he finds these words?
but it's true. Right? You thought that, I thought that, he thought that, he thought that, he thought that, he thought. Everybody's thinking that. Must be that something is up over here. Cannot be that 10 of us over here are thinking, how did he know that was my wife? Guess what? It's not your wife. It's every wife. It's every woman. He says to himself, what kind of a woman is this that denies the truth? She never in her life apologizes for mistakes. The husband becomes heartbroken. He doesn't realize that every woman is just like his wife and cannot admit to faults even if she wanted to. I want to admit. I can't. Wow. I want to admit, but I can't.
I'm in a survival mode.
When
Same
he's
thing with us.
what?
They want to admit they can't.
They can.
Same with men.
He says,
They
when
can't.
he
They
sees
can't.
that she can't admit to the truth or accept constructive criticism, he simultaneously is saddened and angered. He disdains her lack of integrity and accuses her of arrogance. That's exactly what happens to Tanibor. He said, I don't understand. She knows she's wrong. She doesn't want to, and now he gets upset. What kind of, what?
We have to teach.
Whoa, what am I living with here? That's not a woman, I'm sorry.
We have to teach this concept, all the psychology.
Yeah, Bezat Hashem. You hear? So he says, a husband especially disdains his wife's visible mistakes, which the Yetzer Hara is all too ready to amplify. Yeah? The visible mistakes. Yetzer Hara says, Smari, look at that, yeah? He can't understand why she can't admit that the food is burned. The whole chicken smells like charcoal. The more he tries to explain to her that the casserole should have been baked on 45 minutes and not for 2 hours, the more she fights to the death to defend it. How many times it was burnt? She's like, no, why it's good. Look, you open it like this, it's good. It smells to the bone. It was salty, so salty that I put it, my blood pressure goes up. She goes, no, everything is fine for me. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. You know, she really feels that it's salty also. But at this point, she's thinking, how can I admit to my mistake? You know, it's a very, listen, we're laughing, yeah? But this is a very big concept on the mind of an individual, mind of a lady. You hear? You want to break her, and she knows that she's going to be broken right now, but she doesn't want to be broken because that's going to kill her. You understand? She really is going to emotionally break down. And by the way, there's a lot of emotionally broken women, you know, that
And they don't know how to fix
that
it.
end up needing medication. Why? Because they came to this point where he doesn't understand and he pushes her to the limit. No, you gotta say it. You gotta admit it. She's scared. She's dying. You know. I know it's my fault, but I can't admit. She's telling to herself subconsciously. Yeah, because this is a psychological thing. This is deep. You hear? He says over here now. The husband has more complaints against his wife, 1 second, and the vicious downward spiral continues. The more he complains and disdains, the more he destroys her and invokes her anger and irrational reactions. The more he humiliates and tramples her, the more she chokes. Her heart fills with hatred, despair, and she despises her husband like she despises a person that's attempting to stab her in the heart.
And the Satan is dancing.
Yeah, you know why? Because he says what's happening is a downward, like you said, a snowball effect. Because he's seeing that, she's wrong and she's not admitting to it. He doesn't understand she cannot. And now he's getting furious. What an arrogant
Why
woman.
they don't teach them to admit how to
They
rape?
cannot. This is a woman.
Also cannot.
No. You hear? A man can. Why? Because a man is
Cannot change the
a
character.
woman cannot. Why? Because she's very gentle.
She's also in the mirror.
She no, but forgetting at the mirror at this point, he says the physiological makeup of the woman. He talks about it in the
Why
other.
they don't teach them to admit the mistake?
They can't.
Teach them to do it.
No, they
Not-
cannot.
Not us.
It's look.
They're-
No. It's better. It's what he's saying is it's better
Yeah.
that you,
Right.
as a man, stand because the minute she admits, she's broken. She breaks. It's not about that. She cannot. It's like telling. Look. It's like telling a 10-year-old, pick up the 100
Not
pounds.
the husband has to teach her. But they're the rabbi.
I understand what you're saying. It's like telling a 10-year-old weak child, pick up 100 pounds.
There
He
is a reason.
cannot.
There
He
should be
cannot.
a reason.
You tell, no, let me. That's how they were made.
No, what's the reason? I should
Also,
be
they
ready.
know the
Listen.
reason.
Huh?
You
Listen.
know the reason.
What's the reason?
She must be perfect in her husband's eyes.
This is not the reason?
Yeah. And if I admit right now that I'm no good, that's it. I'm zero.
Not
By
so good. Only
by them, it's no good.
In their
Listen,
mind,
if a
They
man,
make mistakes. They make
good.
mistakes.
But a man is built to make mistakes, to get up and go forward. A woman is not. That's why you see. That's why in the past, no woman was in a leadership position. No woman. There was no such thing. In leadership position, no such thing. Not in the Jewish circles, not in the Goyish circles, not anywhere. This right now is a new thing.
100
Where a
years,
woman,
100
by the way, we should Google as far as how many women got out of the positions of presidency. There was in the past 5-6 years, several women, they said, I resign. Why? No man resigned. They told, resign, you're no good. No, unless he was thrown out or
Well,
said,
the mayor was prime minister.
no, but I'm talking about recent prime ministers of different countries that have resigned, right? Because they cannot take the pressure. They're not able to. A man, look at these Khomeini, Pomeni. They know they're gonna die any minute. I'm standing like a man. Ibi John Amson. He said, you crazy. So we have that power. A woman cannot say I'm wrong. She cannot. You know, it'll
Is
break
it-
her.
is it-
It'll break her. That's how God created her.
her.
What was that?
Gava.
Of course.
Gava.
Everybody, by the way, everybody has every characteristics that we have. Everybody. Some have more of that characteristic. Some have less. We need these characteristics to survive. By the way.
So it's not because of Gava.
No, 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 no. It's not that. It's not that.
They don't have that.
Let's just finish here. Let's just finish here. He says, her heart fills with hatred, despair. She despises her husband like she despises a person that wants to kill her. A husband that doesn't understand a woman's sensitivity to remarks and criticisms considers her reactions an expression of insanity. He thinks, oh, she's crazy. For sure, she's crazy. Says, what did I say? I didn't even intend to criticize her. Why is she reacting so violently? Has she lost control? He doesn't realize that one doesn't need to curse or hit to be called an abusive husband. As long as he continues comments and criticizing, her life isn't worth living. Now I understand when I was told that I was an abusive husband. I'm like, what? I never hit you in my life. Abusive husband is one that hits you. Abusive husband is one that throws you out of the house. Abusive husband is one that what? Doesn't pay for the rent, doesn't pay for the car insurance. No, that's an abusive husband. What are you talking about? Abusive husband doesn't go shopping for you. Abusive husband doesn't what are you talking about?
You don't have to do this.
He says, no, no, no. Abusive husband is one that does not understand how to talk to his wife. So it's a far thing to say, but sometimes if you talk nicely, no comment, but you hit her once in a while, she'll probably take that much better than never hit her and talk nasty to her. You understand?
Yeah.
There are some crazy people who are, into the hitting business, but they're very nice talkers. You hear what I'm saying? They're nice manipulators, nice talkers, but they have this problem with now I understand why they stay with them. Why? Because after he hits her, he talks to her sweet, oh, you my love, you my this, my that. We bowed mouth, and then we never say my love, my this, my. Why? Because we can't. Because we think she's not normal. He knows he's not normal. This one that hits, he knows he's not normal. That's why, knowing his not normality of hitting, he with his mouth, oh sweetie, I'm so sorry, you're my love, I can't live without you. They have these kind of devils. You hear what I'm saying? So anyway, we'll stop here. Bezat Hashem, we'll continue tomorrow. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.